I'm too good with these hands, watch a hater fall flat. It's so great for my city, I'm the realest one that's reppin'. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know I will.
Welcome into the Parley alongside 15-year NBA veteran Kendall Gill. We are sponsored by Coda Gear 6040. Don't forget to check us out on social media for all you boxing fans. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there all the time, and we're talking boxing all the time as well. KG, what's up, man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. Bulls won yesterday, by the way.
Bulls won, of course.
Debo had 50 piece?
No, he had 49.
49, okay.
And then Zach had 39. So
is his eye okay, by the way?
Yeah, his eye is okay. But the thing is, we're trying to get into the play-in, which means that, you have to play into the playoffs. However, I think if the Bulls, we play Miami tonight. So after this, I have to go to the studio. I got to get ready for work.
Gotcha.
But if the Bulls should beat the Miami Heat tonight, now we're talking about we're moving up to the 8th, 9th position, and that's where we need to be as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Big win yesterday for the Bulls, but we're not here to talk basketball. Sorry, I
yeah.
got a little
You got distracted. You got distracted. You're right.
Well, we got a special show today with a guest in for our boxing community here in Chicago, and this person is actually not from Chicago. She's actually from Rhinehold, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. She's coming down here fighting out of Niles, Illinois, and going to the Golden Gloves here in Cicero, Illinois, for the first time in her first fight, which is very impressive. We're going to introduce to you Rowan Lapi, who's here with us today. Rowan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. What's up?
What's going on, man? First of all, I'm impressed by your story. We were talking off camera about like where you're from and what you're doing, and again, I mentioned this is your first actual fight going into the Golden Gloves, and this is very impressive that you're going straight in. How did this happen for you?
Yeah, so I'm in Chicago because I got undergrad done at Northwestern, and I played soccer there for 4 years. But now, like, current path is to transfer to Penn State. So just transfer into another Big Ten school. But because of that, it makes sense for Northwestern and for me to not train with them through winter and spring. Okay. So then I kind of just I was like, I still got to stay fit. Like I got soccer training, speed training, stuff like that. But I was like, I want to throw something else in there, and I'm like kind of missing the coaching aspect. So I went to Northside Gym in Evanston, and I hit up the owner, Richard, and was like, hey, I'm looking for like a coach or like you do some like one-on-one sessions. I've always been into boxing, like I kind of want to get into it. Then he set me up with my trainer, Jesus, the chainsaw, and just ever since then, I just fell in love with it and started training all the time, and then decided to enter Golden Gloves.
So, yeah, and that's my question. What made you decide? Was it your coach, Jesus, or was it a sparring session that you had where you beat up your sparring partner that made you say, I'm going to go and get into the Golden Gloves after having never, ever boxed before?
Yeah, I think at first, because my coach was always just like, don't do anything you don't want to, but it's up to you, what you want to do, like if you want to spar. So the first decision was like, do you want to spar? And I was like yeah, and I started going more and more. And at first, I thought I was only gonna maybe go once or twice a week, but then like I said, I started loving it. So at this point, I'm going 6 times a week, all the time. And I decided if I'm putting in all this work, I kind of want to fight, I want to do something. So. I think we kind of both decided, I feel ready, I feel like I can do it, so I want to fight.
So, being from Pennsylvania, I know it's by Philly, right? You educated me off the air, but that environment, that atmosphere out in Philly, there's a big culture, boxing culture in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
did you see that out there when you were growing up?
Yeah, so where I'm from is kind of Amish country, so middle of nowhere. There's not that much around. I live in the woods, so it's for me, I was always driving an hour to an hour and a half just to go to soccer training, and I grew up playing soccer since I was 3. So I feel for me, when I was going to Philly for soccer and all that stuff, that's mostly what it was, and I saw soccer culture in Philly, but I never really got into boxing there, and a lot of my time, energy was devoted to getting recruited and playing soccer. So I never really got into boxing that much. But I had a heavy bag in my basement, and I just kind of would watch fights. I'd ask my dad hey, can we get this fight? Can we watch this? And just kind of a random love for it kind of just started. And I was obviously though the Rocky culture. I remember going to see the Rocky statue, and my mom was taking me to the Museum of Art. Yeah, she was trying to get me to go to the Museum of Art, and I'm into art for sure, but I was just trying to stay outside and take pictures of the Rocky statue, and so I didn't get to see it I'd say in gyms or anything like that, but and I didn't know anyone who really boxed, but just kind of always appreciated it.
So let me ask you this, because I've been asked this several times. What's the difference between basketball and boxing? If you can answer that question for us, what's the difference between soccer and boxing? Are they totally different things?
I would say they're two totally different things. One, because I thought like my footwork was going to be like one of the better things. Like when I started boxing, I was like, I'm always using my feet, like whatever. It is so different. Yeah. And like I had to learn like to be so much more balanced. And like honestly, like doing boxing has helped me like in soccer like tenfold, because I feel like my balance, like my footwork, like I'm a lot like quicker, more agile. Like I'd say that helped, but they're two totally different things, because I know we were talking about it off air a little bit, the difference between boxing and basketball, but with soccer, it's a team sport. It's it's all with feet, and like you can have a little contact, but it's nothing crazy. You're not getting punched. Versus boxing, like it's like there's no timeouts in soccer or anything like that, but it's more like quick. I think the rounds are like a lot different, and it's like you're going like for soccer, like you're trying to last for 90 minutes versus like you have like 3-minute rounds or 2-minute rounds, whatever you're doing. So I think that's a lot different, but. Also, I think the one of the hard things for me learning is the asymmetries of it. Because with soccer, I feel like I'm always balanced and I'm always like either off 2 feet, and I might be using like going off 1 foot, but I'm like each action has an opposite reaction. Right. And in boxing, it's like your stance is different. Like you have a lead foot, like your back foot, like your one hand's doing something while the other's not. So I think there's a lot of differences, but boxing's helped my soccer career for sure.
Yeah, boxing can help in a lot of things, and it's you guys know. And me, like on a really minimal level, it is the most intense workout you can ever have when you're in training throughout all the things that you do. You being obviously a woman, and women's boxing is skyrocketing, nowadays with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor and women like that. Do you look at these women? Do you watch their fights? Do you watch women's boxing and kind of like see, how that works for them and maybe use some of their tips?
I mean, I think like Katie Taylor, like she's like a big inspiration. I think she's just such a badass.
Yeah,
sorry.
She is.
No, you good.
No.
Okay, cool.
Hey, listen, we're not on ABC, NBC, and CBS here. You can say whatever you want to say.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, she is a badass. Like, I think like watching her fights and like seeing what she does and like how she trains, like you can tell like. I think like even in my soccer career, I've always looked to boxers because I think their mentality is so different. So I think seeing these women in like different sports, like, come up through the ranks and like in a sport that's, like not as well known, I'd say on the women's side compared to like certain other sports, I think they are like such big inspirations for like not only just women's boxers, but like women in general. Like I think being able to watch them and like see what they do, like, yeah, it's such an inspiration for me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. In soccer, were you sort of the enforcer? Because that's the way it seems.
Yeah, like a little bit my position, like defensive center mid. It's kind of like you're the person like right in between the defense and the midfield. So like you're kind of doing a little bit of both. Okay. So like you got to be the enforcer, not let anyone get to that back line, and you're tracking girls and making sure. Yeah, for sure.
So now is Katie Taylor your favorite fighter? I know there's a lot of great female fighters out there. My current favorite is Alicia Baumgartner.
Okay.
Gardner, because I just love her style. I love the way that she puts everything together. I love her mentality. I love Serrano too. I love Katie Taylor, but at this point, Baumgartner is my favorite.
Yeah, I would say for me, Katie Taylor is probably my favorite, just because she's obviously one of the more popular. But I think she was like the first person I kind of found, and I started like paying attention to. And so like for me, that was like just the first like woman I started watching. So like for me. Yeah, so she's iconic. So like, and just being able to like watch her and see her fight, like, like I don't know if anyone will like kind of take that spot, but so I'll say she's always my favorite, but definitely appreciate and respect a lot of other women fighters.
How is it working with Coach Jesus? I heard some things about Coach in camp sometimes. I'm kidding. That's just a joke. But how is it working with Jesus in camp and training?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. Like I think that we were talking about it the other day. Like I've only worked with him for 2 months, but compared to like my other soccer trainers or coaches or anyone else, like I feel like closer to him than like some coaches and other people I've known for like 5 years. And I think it's just because one, like we're working so close together and like hitting pads or doing whatever, like, like he's kind of always in the corner and like always around. But also I think, like we just click. So like, I think that, you can see that when we box, like when we do hit the pads, and like, I wouldn't have wanted to get into it with anyone else, because I think that's also what's made me like love it so much, is like being able to work with him and like, like show up every day and like know that he's gonna be there, even though I won't admit that to his face. But it's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. Like he's super talented, and you know, I can tell too, like the way I'm learning is I could be learning a different way and I could be learning a different style. So definitely like respect like the style that he's teaching me. And that's the way I want to fight. So it's been great.
Now, let me ask you this question. How do you like sparring men as opposed to women?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna fight in the Golden Gloves at 165, so I'm definitely like a little heavier on the heavier side for women. So like, there's at our gym like there's not always that many like girls for me to fight, so that's why I've been sparring the guys. I think it's good in general, like for soccer too. Like I'll play against guys and play on guys teams, just like get my speed up, and then I can't rely on my own athleticism like I can with girls, and I have to like work on my skill and like technique. And with guys, I think like it's good because sometimes like if I do spar like girls, like I could get hit to the body and be like open in the body, but I might not feel it and might not really realize. But with the guys and stuff, it's like no, like they'll like make sure I'm like covering up and I'll know when I'm exposed and open. So I mean, I like it. I've always kind of hung out with guys. I've always growing up tried to be on the guys teams and like always doing that. So like I mean I like it. I think it's like makes a point and it makes it like knowing that I'm not here to just like fool around, and I'm down to get hit, and I'm gonna hit you back though. So.
I know
Well, Jesus can tell us that he got the evidence to prove it today.
And we were talking. We shook her hand when she came in. You got strong hands.
strong
I
hands.
not want to mess with Rowan
you're right
in the
about
ring. Rowan, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Best of luck to you in the Golden Gloves, and man, we gotta be there.
No, yeah, we're gonna come out and support
gotta
you.
be there.
Yeah, we're definitely
Thank
gonna
you.
do that.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Parley is sponsored by 6040 Quarter. Again, don't forget to check us out on social media. Again, we're on all the platforms, so if you're not subscribing, do so. It's the Parley. What's up, guys? TLO here for the Parley. 15-year NBA veteran Kendall Gill
Yes,
there.
sir.
Don't forget to subscribe to everything you see there in the description box. We want to hear from you guys, and of course, hit that bell for the notifications, like that you know what's going on.
Hit it.
By the way, just want to make sure you know, Tyson Fury has never lost a fight to Deontay Wilder.
And this is untrue. He lost the first fight.
I don't even want to hear it, bro.
He lost the first fight.
I don't even
You
wanna
know
hear it, bro.
He lost the first one.
He did it, bro.
He lost the first one.
He did it, bro.
You have yet to watch that fight with me. He lost the last two, but not the first.